TxStampin Sharon bringing you another video, and I'll be using these on this video. I love the Stampin Blends, so I have a few tips to share with you as always. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you know of a crafty friend who would enjoy this video, why don't you share it with them? Hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's make the card. This card is simple, but it's so much fun. And the reason it's fun is because of coloring. And I don't know if you can see or not, but I used the Wink of Stella to give it even more little glittery bling. Love it. Let's make it together. I'm using Country Home, which is available in the 2018 holiday catalog from Stampin Up. And you know, this set totally meets all my criteria. If you've ever watched any of my videos, I love anything that has images and sentiments. And this one, it's fun. So let's get started. I already have my crumb cake card base that I have done with the 10 tile embossing folder. And I loved how it looked, but I decided, let's pop some more color on there by adding some soft suede and a sponge. I just think it makes the pattern show up even better. There we go. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our Memento ink to do our stamping, because we're going to be using Stampin Blends. I am so addicted to Stampin Blends, and if you don't have any yet, I would love for you to head over to my store and grab you a couple of colors. I'll be explaining more about the colors in just a moment. Go ahead and stamp our image. Little watering can. With these being photopolymer, they line up perfectly every time. Love it. We have a little oval that's going to go right here. And our thanks right in the middle. Little subtle thanks. The reason that I'm using Memento is because I'm going to be using the Stampin Blends. The Stampin Blends come a dark color and a light color, so Daffodil Delight and all that. In other words, they have two shades. They are alcohol based, and you want to use Memento so that when you start coloring, your color doesn't get muddy, your image doesn't change. It's just the perfect ink for that. So let's bring I'm going to talk about, let me just show you one other thing. Here is the 2-page spread in the Stampin' Up! Catalog about all the different colors, and look how many that we have now. You can buy them singly, just one for $4.50 a piece, or you can buy combo packs. I recommend the combo packs because you're gonna want to get this type of shading, and they're just so perfect for that. The other thing you're gonna want is the lifter. The lifter will lighten up some color if you get too heavy, but it also is a great little boo-boo eraser. I don't have any boo-boos on this one, but if I make a boo-boo here, I'll show you how that works. All right, so as far as coloring goes, I'm gonna use the 2 different shades of the Smoky Slate, and we're gonna color our can. The reason that the Stampin' Blends work so well is that there's no streak marks. If I used water-based markers, there would be streak marks, and you just kind of feel like you have to go over it and over it and over it again. But these allow you to color so quickly and so smoothly that you don't have to do that. The key with Stampin' Blends, I'll go ahead and take that off. I don't need that anymore now that I've stamped. I use the paper piercing mat for cushioning with those photopolymer stamps. So you just kind of want to be able to turn your piece so that you get all the areas. These need to be capped really well so that they don't dry out. They are alcohol. And now what I'm doing with the darker is I'm just going to start here and I'm going to flick. Okay, I got a little boo-boo. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you can even see the boo-boo. See how I went out of the line just a tad? I'm gonna take, whoops, not that. I'm gonna take the lifter and I'm just going to push that ink back in, basically. Give it a few seconds to dry and it will be all perfect. All right, so back to, let me move these out of the way. Back to the lighter of the smoky slate. I'm gonna take I like to use the barrel. There are two tips. One is the brush tip and one is more like a barrel. And I just like to soften that a little bit so it's not so harsh of an edge. Oh my gosh, I sure hope this shows up on the video. Can you see the darker and then my lighter on this side? Because technically when you're watercoloring or coloring anything, you have a light source. And so this side of the jug is lighter. Okay, so next we're gonna take, I know the cattails should probably be a little bit darker, but I wanted yellow cattails. Don't shoot me if I've colored them wrong. But I just wanted to tie in with my thanks down here, so I just needed a little yellow somewhere else. So see how my thanks didn't bleed at all because I used Memento ink. Now I'm switching to Calypso Coral. By the way, did you know that coloring is therapeutic? And the reason it's therapeutic is because when you are coloring, it takes your mind off of any other thoughts and allows you to focus on something that's relaxing. Adult coloring is awesome. Now I'm going to take the darker and I'm just going to kind of follow some of the lines of the artist image. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just whatever you want to do. But I liked having a little bit more contrast to my coloring. And this is what the blends are so perfect for. You know, I've been doing this for 21 years, and this is probably one of my most favorite coloring tools that Stampin' Up! Has come out with. So I'm just kind of softening my harsh lines, just using the barrel tip, just kind of rubbing it in, blending it. That's why they're called Stampin' Blends. And now we have our little avocado down here. taking the darker, and I'm just gonna, again, follow the artist lines. Makes me feel like an artist. Bringing in my, whoops. Just kind of going over that a little bit and softening those lines just a little bit. I sure hope that the video does this justice because it really is pretty in person. And then I took pumpkin pie to do the little dried flower pieces. I'm not sure what these are called. I think I got them all. I do see where I missed this one up here. And then we're going to use, these little leaves are really tiny, but I'm using crumb cake. And now my coloring is done. I want to take the Wink of Stella. I always want to shake it first before I use it. If you purchase a Wink of Stella, there is a black ring that separates the lid and the base. You'll want to unscrew that, take that off so that you get a good cap. Squeeze just a little bit to get it going. And it does not smear the Stampin' Blends, which it has been known when I've used it to smear the water-based markers. Uh-oh, I forgot to color my handles. Let's see, my gray. Okay. So now that I'm looking at this and my sponging on here, I'm gonna go ahead and do some sponging around this piece. You know, no two cards are the same. And I think that will give it a little bit, I think it'll help it blend more. All I'm doing is holding my fingers underneath and lightly sponging the edge. You know, we sell these sponges, they're round and you just quarter them up and you just use them over and over and over again. I also forgot to do this part. I want to show you how I did that because it was kind of fun. So I'm going to grab my dark crumb cake and my light crumb cake, and all I did, which I've cut this a little bit, actually I stamped, see how I stamped closer, but I'm still gonna show you. I just kind of did this. With the darker one. And then I brought in the lighter one. And I just loved how it looked. At least my little jug wasn't just sitting in the middle of the air. All right. By the way, when you use the Stampin' Blends, you want to use, this is the Thick Very Vanilla or the Thick Whisper White, because it will bleed through. It's not enough to stain your surface, but it does seep through. Add some dimensionals. Oh, I have a new trick. So when you put the dimensionals on, kind of bend them when you put them down. Watch what happens. I've been doing this for 21 years. Like I said, you can always learn new tricks. So when I do that, those backings just come right off. So cool. Normally I dig my fingernails in them, but if you bend them when you put them down, doesn't matter if you have nails or not, but kind of bend them as you attach them, it works. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and center this one. This one I had off to the right. The last thing I wanna do is stamp inside. The stamp set has a great sentiment because my little thanks on the front was like a little subtle thanks, but this says simply thankful for all the good things. Love it. Hope you enjoyed the card. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to spend it with me.